So this video is really about my symptoms and everything that was kind of going on towards the end of April. My ovulation test hadn't shown up, and my period was late, and so it was about the confusingness and really just trying to look for meaning in every single little thing, every single little symptom. I had this really crazy irregular period cycle going on, and I still do today. And one of the things that was really difficult at that time, that was really stressing me out a lot, is that I was about to graduate, and I had a lot of independent study courses, so I was running around checking that everything was getting done and that I could graduate on time. And we had a lot less time than we normally would. We normally wouldn't graduate till May from the university I was at, but this time they decided they were going to have graduation in April, towards the very end of April, so I was really scrambling to get everything done and very stressed out at this time period. So this is kind of how I was feeling. Hi, I'm Kate, and it's April 23rd, 2018, and I just thought I would do a little log today because I have some symptoms as it nears the end of April that I are curious and I wanted to discuss. So last month during my cycle, my right nipple only started to be sore, and we kind of discussed, I kind of talked about how that was very strange and that my nipples don't normally hurt during these kinds of things. I haven't in the last 5 years gotten a lot of nipple pain or even breast tenderness, but as I've started to conceive a baby, I have a lot of breast tenderness and nipple pain. Now, both my nipples never seem to hurt at the same time. Last month it was my right nipple, so this time my left nipple started hurting first, and then my left boob, and then my right boob, only within a couple hours of my left boob hurting. And at first I was like, am I imagining it? And I touched it and it was really, really painful. So I know for a fact I'm not imagining it. It's very painful. And I'm not sure what's going on. Of course, in a couple weeks I'll probably go ahead and take a test. If, if my period doesn't come by the 30th, which is the very end of the month, then I'll go ahead and splurge on a test, and if it does, then it does, and if the test rate is negative at that point, I'm just going to wait until I either get a period or I don't. So either in 2 to 3 weeks I'll get another period because my cycle is really off, or I won't get anything at all. And then if I'm not getting anything at all, I'll retest again, to kind of explore why that would be happening. Another thing that's kind of been weird is I was very adamant about taking ovulation tests this month. I literally took one pretty much every day after my period, just because I wanted to know when I possibly was going to be ovulating, because my cycle is really regular and it does what it wants. It's always done that, and it's always been that way. So I'm not sure really what's going on with any of that. I just know that when I started to test, I was first using the Clear Blue Digital, but then I ran out. So the Clear Blue Digital was showing the two lines, one was super dark, the control line was super dark, and the other line was super duper light, and the second line would show up no matter what. That was just a thing with the brand. And then at least when I was using them, and then I switched to First Response, which for a while, even when the Clear Blue was showing at least two lines, that one was only showing one line. So every day I took another one of the first responses, a line started to appear, and it started to get a little darker and a little darker, and it got dark to the point where you could tell you could definitely be certain it was there. But it didn't really look darker than or equal to the other line, which it says it's negative unless it's equal to that other line. So, that's kind of frustrating because on Saturday, hold on, not this last Saturday, I'm opening my fertility app that I really don't even like using for prediction purposes because it's terrible. So the 14th I got 2 ovulation lines, and then a couple days after I was getting the 2 lines, but this is the one that was the most darkest. And then pretty much after about the 3rd day of getting like a similar reading, it started to taper down and get to a point where it was literally not it was just the one line, just the control line again. So ever since then, ever since the control line appeared and the test line did not, I've been really weirded out. I've taken a couple other tests and then they've pretty much been like that. But on the 17th of April, that's when my breasts started to hurt, and it's now the 23rd of April. So we shall see. This is very interesting. For sure. And today my breasts have definitely gotten sorer, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm very curious and very interested in what is really going on here, so I'm just gonna kind of let it be and just try to focus on what I need to get done for graduation, because I'm like right here and I'm so nervous and I've got still so much to do, even like right up till graduation itself. I've got so much to do. I have my last final exam tomorrow, the 24th, and then I've got to do one more source reading and 2 more papers, and I am freaking out. I'm like so like stressed out and just very unsure of what's gonna happen. I don't know, like I can't stress out about too much, but I'm just gonna let it happen, whatever's gonna happen, and then we'll see where things go from there. And then I'll log again if any other symptoms pop up or any other weird stuff starts happening, or if I got my period. I'll go ahead and log those things, as well as keep track in my app, which I only use for the calendar because the prediction tool is just terrible. But yeah, so I just wanted to say those things, yeah, and share that with you. Alright, thank you, bye. Yeah, so as you can see, it was a very confusing time for me, and it was very chaotic. One of the things that was especially odd to me was just my period was late, and I was like, well, how long am I supposed to wait? If I test and it comes back negative, how long should I wait until my period comes? And my period was like skipping huge chunks. It was skipping like 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then it would go on to the next cycle. And ultimately I have discovered that through that I actually was skipping cycle. So sometimes that happens with women. Sometimes they skip cycles, and that was really what it was going on with that. And it was a very interesting and tricky situation to kind of address that, and really admit to myself that I was skipping periods and that my cycles were not on the dot every month. All of that was very, very frustrating. The whole trying to read the tests and everything. I switched from Clear Blue to First Response in this month, just because I ran out and they didn't have any Clear Blue at the store. That's pretty much the only reason. So it was very tricky. I couldn't find any of the smiley face ones at the store either. I just wanted some ones that were going to just give me like a smiley face or something, or a yes or no or something like that. But I really didn't find anything at Fred Meyer's that was going to be helpful like that. So instead, I just kept winging it and kept trying, and that month I did not get a positive ovulation test as far as I was concerned. So it was very concerning and very awkward, and then that was offset by my period being late 3 to 4 weeks. So the whole thing was very, very stressful, and there was a lot of unsettling emotions and uncertainty in this time period, especially surrounding my cycles and the irregularity, the extreme at which my cycles are irregular was not something I was expecting. Like, I knew my cycles were irregular, but I just didn't have an accurate picture of how irregular they really were. And now I understand far better that sometimes it's just ridiculous, like, I'm gonna skip periods on occasion, I'm gonna have really long cycles sometimes, and it's very frustrating, but it's just the way my body is. So that was something that I really learned from this, and a good takeaway from it. But if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.